Hi there, I'm Ahsan Shaw, and you're watching me on YouTube, Facebook, and Facebook group Love Virus. Today we are going to talk about the impact of COVID-19 pandemic and the healing of the separated world through unconditional love. I'm not going to go in the details of discussing about the pandemic or COVID-19, whether it's right or wrong, or there are many theories and there are many ways to look at the whole scenario. But what I am interested in and what we are going to focus on is to heal this world, is to resolve how we should react to this and how we should respond to this situation. And many of you are familiar with the fact that the pandemic of COVID-19 has been very difficult for many people. It created a situation of global recession to the global economy. And many people lost their jobs. The purchasing power and buying power of people have dropped. There are many other economical factors are involved. But what we should now the question is how we should react to this and what should our response be? Because we need love, humanity, human compassion, tolerance, and patience more than ever.
Mm.
And I'm going to discuss it with my friend. He is phytoaromachologist. Yeah, his name is Gary Murk, and you are very familiar with him.
Good evening, Ahsan.
Hi, hi, Gary. How are you?
Uh, uh, Warmer than it was yesterday. Okay,
Okay,
the temperature here in Edmonton is -11 at the moment Celsius.
okay.
Yesterday was -19 and minus
Mhm.
23 before that. So I think spring's coming. Maybe it's warming up slowly. Okay, and
What's what's the temperature there?
sorry.
Temperature,
The
temperature.
current temperature right now in Celsius is 11 degree -11 Celsius.
Hmm.
So that would be, I can't remember in Fahrenheit, but it sounds colder in Fahrenheit than it does in Celsius. But
Hmm.
it's cold. I mean, it's
It's
not. Polar bears are still outside. They're not hibernating so much. They're not
hmm
hiding from the cold. But
hmm
it's all
it's
good.
cold,
Yeah,
cold.
it's part of the
Life,
environment that we live in here.
yeah.
And
Yes.
in Edmonton, northern Canada,
Hmm.
it gets chilly, but
Hmm.
we have beautiful summers and beautiful springs, and
Hmm.
for the most part, we have more sunshine than anywhere else in Canada, which is a plus. So
Hmm.
at the moment, not a lot of people are going outside because of, well, we know this COVID thing and the
Hmm.
masks and everything else, and how it's
Hmm.
affecting, not only businesses, but also how it's affecting, personal health and stress
Hmm.
upon our personal relationships, because we're
Hmm.
a lot of fear mongering going on when we look at it. And I think you see it and I see it, and we
Hmm.
see the impact on not just businesses but humanity.
Also, yes, and also it has impacted the relationships of people, especially the social distancing thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
you have to wear mask.
have to wear. Can you imagine, as a couple, you have
Hmm.
to wear a mask,
Hmm.
and wearing a mask as a couple, the stress that it can create between that. I
Hmm.
work with many people, and families as well. Families are going through stress. I
Hmm.
work with individuals, and a lot of it is this stress in, the ability we can't breathe, for one.
Hmm.
The fear that if we don't, because we're pointed at or we're
Hmm.
judged, or
Hmm.
the all of the things that are going on based upon, we can go into all the rabbit holes, but
Yes.
in the sense of a sickness, that is, if we look at it in common sense, if it's a
Mhm.
flu, the flu happens every year. Why
Mhm.
has it gone to this status? There's a lot of things that we can discuss. There's a lot of rabbit holes we can go down. But rather than going down that, I want to stay focused, like you as well, in this present moment. What's happening to humanity? You know,
Mhm.
its impact on business, small businesses. You know, the
Mhm.
Amazons in the world are making billions of dollars. You know,
Yeah,
the big
tech
super.
companies tech companies are proliferating during the pandemic year, and
Oh,
but on the other hand, smaller businesses are shutting down.
you know, in Edmonton, okay, and I'm
Mhm.
sure this is going on in all around the world. I mean, I'm very, very connected to what's going on in different cities and,
Mhm.
you know, different parts of the country, whether it's our country, whether it's in your part of the world, whether it's, you know, in France or Spain or Germany or New Zealand. Um,
Mhm.
Look at the impact of what it's doing to small businesses. In
Mhm.
the economy side of things, the heart of
Mhm.
the economy is not these big boxes, it's the small
Mhm.
businesses. The local
Yes.
economy
Mhm.
thrives on a small business. I mean, these are families that may have been generations running a business, you
Mhm.
know, or somebody who has had a passion, and they're not about trying to sell a million products, they're about supporting the local community. And in what's going on, you know, in our part of the, like here in Edmonton, I drive down the streets and there's businesses that were operational a year ago. They're no longer in business. They're closed.
Mhm.
You know,
Yes.
what has it done to people? You know,
Yes.
talking to health insiders, you know, people who work in the hospitals and nurses and doctors, they see more people coming in from attempted suicides than there is actually people coming in from this sickness.
Mhm.
And this is what's not being told. How many
Yes.
people have committed suicide or tried to commit suicide because of the financial burden, the stress, the uncertainties, that can I go back to my business, my livelihood, my passion?
Mhm. Can
I,
we go back? People have been asking things. Are things going back to normal, or they aren't, or is it going to this is going to be the same?
what is normal? Let's look
Mhm.
at what is normal in today's world, based upon the way the world has been functioning for many, many,
Mhm.
many decades. Can we
Mhm.
consider this normal, or can we consider it a programmed way of living? We have been programmed in many ways to strive to be a better employee, to
Mhm.
strive to be in number one position, the competition between, to, you know, be the best that we can so that we can make money, to have a home, to have land, to have a
Mhm.
lifestyle when we retire. But
Yes.
as it's been going forward, the cost factor is going up. The food alone here, because of this pandemic, we're
Mhm.
expected this year in 2021 to spend a minimum of $700 more for the same amount of food that we spent last year.
Mhm.
$700 more. To somebody who makes lots of money, that sounds like nothing. But to a
Mhm.
family that was already struggling,
Mhm.
$700 more, they don't know how they're going to do this. You know,
Yes.
how are we going to survive? We can't open our business. The
Mhm.
government says we will help, but yet we have to pay it back.
Mhm.
Then we're scrutinized. Now we're being policed. Now, if
Mhm.
you break a rule, there's fines up to $6,000.
Mhm.
Businesses are fed up.
I know.
They're hurting at the bottom line that keeps them not just alive financially, but
Mhm.
alive spiritually. They're
Mhm.
they're lost. How many
Yes.
people do I talk to in a week that are stressed,
Mhm.
anxiety, panic,
Mhm.
contemplating suicide?
Mhm.
It's appalling.
Mhm.
I listen to people in tears. I listen to
Mhm.
people in doubt of
Mhm.
spirituality and doubt of
Mhm.
God.
Mhm.
When God is not the one to blame. Our
Mhm.
spirituality is not to blame for this.
Mhm.
God is watching us. He's given
Mhm.
us He's given
You
us
have
Yeah.
You have mentioned the word spirituality and God and higher power.
Yes.
And it reminds me something that there is a very deep connection between our physical world, our materialistic world, and our inner world.
Yes.
When the circumstances, the materialistic world, the outside world in which we are living in, the external factors or environmental factors, they impact our inner self. If there's something going on outside the world, you are not going to be the same from inside.
Oh,
You can't be at peace.
no.
You can't perform spirituality and other things when there's chaos
Oh,
around
yeah.
you.
Chaos, myths, truths, fake
Hmm.
news, fear mongering.
Hmm.
Uh, a lady here recently, a couple of days ago, comes back from a trip. She gets to
Hmm.
the airport. She's been tested negative. They don't believe her. She's in a quarantine camp. We don't know where this camp is. There's centers like this all across Canada and probably in
Hmm.
other parts of the world that are set
Hmm.
aside that, oh, you're a threat. We're taking
Hmm.
you away. No questions can be asked. Your rights
Hmm.
are taken away. Your freedom of speech is taken away. And now we're forced with somebody might force us to take a vaccine that hasn't been truly, fully tested beyond the benefit of a doubt. And
Hmm.
all while the pharmaceutical companies are making billions of dollars based
Hmm.
upon something that is maybe not even going to work, because there's
Hmm.
two sides of this. We're
Hmm.
hearing from frontline workers that have
Hmm.
taken the vaccination are sick.
Hmm.
Where
Hmm.
are we showing this in the news? Not
Hmm.
talking about it. They won't
Yes.
allow us to talk about it. They
Yes.
won't allow us to use freedom of speech. As a
Hmm.
small business owner myself, my business is affected because people are
Hmm.
so fearful that the connection with me that normally would be, here's a hug, here's a
Hmm.
loving smile. They're
Hmm.
fearful of a loving smile.
Yes.
They're fearful to touch my hands.
Mhm,
The people walk down the street and they run to the side because they believe in this fear. Now,
mhm,
as an impact, how is this affecting, as you mentioned, this inner growth, this inner
mhm,
connection with spirit and with compassion and love? I have
mhm,
compassion and love, but I'm
mhm,
faced with a gauntlet every
mhm,
day, going out the door, going to small businesses. Some respect that I don't wear a mask. I have common
mhm,
sense. I'm not sick. I'm
mhm,
very healthy. I know how
mhm,
healthy I am. And now
mhm,
we want to go further with testing and instead of now sticking a swab up the nose, they're talking about sticking a swab up our rear end to test us. I mean, none of this makes sense in
yes.
any way. It doesn't make
Mhm.
sense.
Okay, we have
If
got a comment here.
Yes, okay, Sydney, my friend is a nurse. Their nurses are in Red Deer passing away from this vaccine. Let's all say no to this fear mongering and pandemic. Jesse Hall, human guinea pigs with no liability to the companies making trillions. These are the people speaking,
Mhm.
Ahsan.
Yes,
Listen to
yes,
this.
yes.
This is the truth.
Mhm,
We, the people, we see the truth. The ones that have eyes wide open. We have an
mhm.
open heart. We have compassion. We have a belief in love of a fellow human being. But this
Yes,
is being taken away from us. It's being
yes.
said, we can't. We can't
Mhm,
hug. We can't
yes,
kiss. We can't
yes.
smile. We have to wear a
Mhm.
mask. And now they say we have to wear 3 layers of a mask.
Oh, come on.
Like, really?
Yes, are you kidding me?
Like, how here's an example. The business
Mhm.
that I work with, where I work, okay, is an ability that we work to help people.
Yes.
We share love, compassion. We're there to welcome you with open arms,
Mhm,
open hearts. And now there are people that are paid. These are
mhm,
people that are making money to go around and point the finger saying, they're not wearing a mask. They're against
Mhm.
the rules. They're
Mhm.
against this. They're against that. Today I
Mhm.
was at this place of business. We locked the door. We're not in business. We're not open for business. We're repairing things. I'm building this
Mhm.
beautiful altar. We
Mhm.
sit down as employees and we have something to eat. Our doors are
Mhm.
locked, but
Mhm.
somebody felt that we were doing business and reading tarots. Nobody's reading tarots. Nobody's doing
Mhm.
palmistry. So somebody
Mhm.
has gone around, they make money because look what they're doing. And the next
Mhm.
thing, we have the police come knock on the door. We don't open the
Mhm.
door. We
Mhm.
won't open the door because the common law, they have to have a warrant and
Yes.
they have to have due cause. So we
Mhm.
stand to the freedom of our rights. We didn't
Mhm.
open the door. Today,
Mhm.
they got people going around, they have badges, they're walking around, they're checking to make sure nobody's coming in and things like how does this make you and me as a passionate person, how does it make me
Mhm.
feel? I'm there
Yes.
to I'm not there to work with an individual. I'm there
Mhm.
building something for the individuals when we will open our door. A sacred
Yes.
altar built with love, compassion, understanding, and welcoming. And now
Mhm.
we're feeling like even cattle are treated better going to the slaughterhouse.
Yes.
It's appalling how it's
Mhm.
making us feel as humans.
Mhm.
And it's turning humans against humans.
Yes.
It's dividing peoples,
Mhm.
it's dividing
Mhm.
countries.
Mhm.
I believe in one world, one peoples, one love. I believe
Yes.
in no boundaries.
Mhm.
We we are you're in the eastern world, I'm in the western world. I could care
Yes.
less if it's east or west.
Yes.
I see the
So,
world. It's a
yes.
place for us to explore, to share
Mhm.
in knowledge, wisdom,
Mhm.
love, culture, learning. But
Mhm.
it's turned into this war amongst peoples and fear
Mhm.
mongering by governments that are power hungry, that are making money off of the
Mhm.
side, that are
Mhm.
using the stock markets to benefit their own personal families. They're
Mhm.
flying around the world, they're eating steak and lobster, and their peoples can't even buy hamburger. There's
Okay,
something wrong.
we have got some comments here.
Oh boy. Okay. So, let's see. Comes to visit, she gets heavily surveyed. Silly travel laws. Sydney, I feel for you. You know, friends, we can't even visit our friends. We can't gather. We can't have associations. No, we have to quarantine and then we have to get tested. And now they want to stick a swab up our rear end to see if we're truly sick or not. I mean, really? If we're sick, we know we sit on the toilet. We know we're sick. Our stools tell us we're sick. Cancer treatment or cancer diagnostics is done by a stool sample. They just allow you to put it into a bag. Now they want to stick something up our rear ends. There's a lot of things that don't make sense here. Let's see. Jesse has just said more people died last month by suicide in Japan than the entire year from this virus. This is a true statistic. In Edmonton, a city, one city,
Mhm.
before COVID, the
Mhm.
daily attempted suicide rate was approximately 7 attempted suicide rates per day.
Mhm.
This is what was
It
going
means
on before COVID.
it means the
COVID is set in, it's
depression.
5 times that amount right now.
It means the depression, the stress, and the fear of uncertainty, and what is happening around. We don't know that. Many people don't know that, and how things are going to be normal. So we have to redefine normal. So I think we have to redefine our lives over and over again. We have
Yeah,
to redefine it in order to survive through this pandemic.
yeah. We
Mm.
have to unify, Ahsan.
Yes.
Unification of peoples underneath common
Mm.
understandings is
Mhm.
that we all want a better world. What does it
Mhm.
take to have
Mhm.
a better world? Well, to
Mhm.
have a better world is to communicate, to be able
Yes.
to speak with each other, to
Mhm.
understand what is going on in your part of the world, what is going on in my part of the world, and how can
Mhm.
we come together as peoples and
Mhm.
make it a better world for all, rather
Mhm.
than the governments that are, we know all what's going on there.
Mhm.
We could talk for hours on what the governments are saying and what they
Mhm.
believe in, and all doing all throughout this, we're still
Mhm.
ravaging the earth. We're still cutting down the Amazonian forest. We're
Mhm.
opening up the Arctic to drilling. We're still doing clear cutting off into the BC forests so that we can still do the same problem that has been part of the demise of what the environment is. So,
Mhm.
is it a smoke screen? Is it to
Mhm.
keep the peoples on the inside so that the powers to be can go out and ravage the earth more and make
Mhm.
money from slavery conditions?
Mhm.
There's, the masks.
Mhm.
How many of the masks are now in the oceans or
Mhm.
strewn upon the street? I walk down the streets, there's paper masks all over the place. There's masks that are hanging in the trees, and there's an estimated 2 billion masks in the water, in the oceans.
Mhm.
So not only do we have fear and stress, we have
Mhm.
people that are disrespectful, inconsiderate,
Mhm.
toss it out the air.
Mhm.
These masks are not just paper. They have a chemical that they have been sprayed with that is a cancer causing agent. Has anybody told us this? No.
No.
But you're
Yes.
buying them, you're wearing
Yes.
them,
Mhm.
and nobody's looking into that information. They're just,
Yes.
I have to wear a mask. And as soon as they
Mhm.
go out the door, they throw it away.
Yes.
Well, for me, I'm appalled that any human does this, for one. I'm appalled at any human that points a finger at another human being and
Mhm.
judges them for freedom that I want to breathe. Our
Mhm. We
God
have
given right is to breathe.
yes, and we have got a very good question here. That how
Yes,
can we all come together?
one word,
Mhm.
one word,
Mhm.
love.
Mhm.
The truth of love.
Mhm.
Love that is unconditional, has no
Mhm.
limits, has no
Mhm.
judgments. It is
Mhm.
what the Christ, our gods, have taught us. It is what our philosophers have tried to teach us, this
Mhm.
way of living with love, in love, by love.
Mhm.
But where are we taught what love is?
Mhm.
We're taught how to make money in order to find somebody to love us. We're taught that
Mhm.
having a beautiful car, a beautiful home, somebody's going to love me because I have a beautiful car, a beautiful home. We're taught
Yes.
that getting married is the size of my love for you is the size of the diamond that I wear. That's
Mhm.
not love.
Yes.
That's not love.
Mhm.
Love is, for one, from my perspective, is that letting others voluntarily evolve. As I let you be who you want to be,
Mhm.
I will either love you or I will
Mhm.
not love you. But
Mhm.
I cannot change you. I
Yes.
cannot change the world. I can change
Mhm.
self. I
Mhm.
own self. I own spirit. And I believe in the connection of my soul to the
Mhm.
divine power. I believe in the essence of Christ and what he taught us, not by what the religions taught us.
Mhm.
I believe in the essence of love that he showed us, compassion.
Mhm.
If
Mhm.
I can offer you the last dollar in my pocket
Mhm.
because you need a coffee, I can do this.
Yes.
And people will say that love is possessive. Love is not possessive if we've been shown what love is. I
Mhm.
love freely. I love
Mhm.
you as a human being freely.
Yes.
I love
Mhm.
all humans as human beings freely. But I
Mhm.
do not love to possess.
Yes.
This connection of love and possession, when somebody says, well, I love my car, I love
Mhm.
money, I love my home, that's not
Mhm.
love. That's something you own. You
Yes.
can't own love other than love of self.
I
If you
think
can,
you have said a very interesting thing that uh, there have been miscommunication and misunderstanding, and people have misdefined, or I don't know whether it's a word or not, but I'm saying it that we have to redefine the definition of love. The love
Yes.
is the materialistic thing that you own, that you acquire. They are not love. They are
Mm.
your needs. There's a difference between human needs, your basic needs, your financial needs, and your way of living needs. And there's a spiritual need. And
Yes.
the spiritual need is your love and love for humanity, love for yourself as a person.
Yes.
When you love yourself, then it would allow you to love others.
It allows you to shine, Hassan. When
Yes.
you are in love of self, not
Hmm.
ego, not by
Hmm.
ego, no, in
Hmm.
love of self. I've
Hmm.
spoken with many of my my followers, and I
Hmm.
threw them out a challenge. Can
Hmm.
you write a love letter to self?
Hmm. Hmm.
How do you see yourself? How do you
Hmm.
love yourself?
Hmm.
How do you accept yourself?
Hmm.
And very few people have responded. So that tells me something. We
Hmm.
don't understand what love is.
Yes.
To be able to write a letter to yourself, that
Hmm.
how you have love yourself with being raw, real, and truthful, and share this to the world, people don't know how. But when you do, you're a shining star. You
Yes.
become a candle in the tunnel for somebody who feels I'm alone, I'm lost, I'm in desolation, I'm in dismay, I'm suicidal.
Hmm.
Because we show that we can love self and we
Hmm.
can share this. You
Hmm.
can walk down the street with this essence of, I love myself because I can smile.
Hmm.
I'm not smiling because I want something from you. I'm
Hmm.
smiling because I am with self and I am my freedom and my right.
Hmm.
I need to breathe. I
Yes.
love to smile to people. I love to communicate with people.
Hmm.
But today, how do I communicate? They have masks. I can't even understand what they're saying.
Hmm.
Can you please take your mask off? Take your
Hmm.
mask off. I don't understand what you're saying. It's all muffled up.
Yes.
And
You can even see the smile of other person.
no. And
Yes.
a smile only takes 10 little muscles. So even
Yes.
if you use all 45 muscles to smile, we still can't see the smile.
Yes.
A child
Hmm.
knows what love is
Yes.
because they're born in love. They are in the innocence of love. They look
Hmm.
up to their mother, their father with eyes of love.
Hmm.
They know, we all know at
Hmm.
source what love
Hmm.
is.
Yes.
But what has
So,
happened in time?
mhm. I think the reason many people, they can't differentiate between your needs, your possessions, and love is because years of commercialization of about whether it's media, whether it's movies, TV, and everything, they have attached two things: is materialistic things with love. Love
Yes.
is unconditional.
Since
Mhm.
when was Christmas about what was underneath the tree, as an
Yes.
example?
Mhm.
Christmas is a celebration of Christ.
Yes.
The tree was an emblem of the shining star that the
Mhm.
three wise men followed. So the star at the top of a Christmas tree, many people don't even know what the association of that is. I grew
Mhm.
up with, we would go out and get a tree. We would
Mhm.
ask permission to get a tree. We would decorate it with handmade decorations and candy canes and gingerbreads. And
Mhm.
Christmas Day, we ate the candy canes and the gingerbreads. We had a
Mhm.
meal together. We sat down at the table together. We laughed. We cried. We played music.
Mhm.
Today, what's underneath the Christmas tree? What did I get for Christmas? Oh, I don't like that. I've seen
Mhm.
people get on to Kijiji and sell their Christmas present and complain that their mother and father, well, look at what they gave me. They don't love me. Well,
Yes.
like, really? You know,
Yeah.
like you didn't get your fancy telephone, so your mother and father don't love you.
Don't
Like,
love you. Hmm.
like you said, it's become a commercialized, materialistic world where
Hmm.
all a majority are focused upon is ownership. What I can
Hmm.
buy, what I can own, what I can show. Look at me. Look at how I dress. Look at my labels. Look at my shoes. I don't care what shoes you're wearing,
Hmm.
honestly.
Hmm.
If you wear fancy clothes, that's your choice. It's not for me to judge that. If you want to wear pink and purple pants, that's your
Hmm.
choice. I have
Yes.
nothing to say about it.
Yes.
Okay? But what I have to say about is your action as a human being.
Yes.
If you do something to hurt another human being, I have something to say about it. I have
Yes.
freedom of
And you
speech.
should. And we should say about it. We should talk about these things, that what are affecting other people, what are
Yeah,
hurting other people, and we should raise our voice.
yeah.
Yes.
This is
And
where a lot of the discussions are going. Even last night in my live, we
mhm,
touched on base of, you know, different aspects of the
mhm,
materialistic world. And,
mhm,
some are like, well, I want to make $1 million. Okay,
mhm,
if
mhm,
that's what your goal is to make a million
mhm,
dollars, I can't
mhm.
stop you from making that, going towards that goal. But my
Yes.
question is, where is it at the end of the day if you had a heart attack?
Yes.
Okay,
And
I've been in many situations where a death of a family member has
mhm,
turned into a fight after they have been buried because
mhm,
of what this one, what the parents had. Okay, well, I deserve this. I want this. I want this. I want the house. I want this. I want that. That belongs to me.
mhm.
Really?
Yes.
I
Are you
when
kidding
my
me?
grand yes
Mm,
when when my grandfather died many years ago,
mhm,
I was on a
mhm,
business trip to Paris,
mhm,
and they didn't let me know while I was on the plane because he had actually died when I was in midair in the plane. And
mhm,
when I arrived at the airport, or when we landed, the stewardess came up to me and they said, "We have a message for you. We'd like you to come with us and sit down, please, because it's an important message." And I felt something was going on.
mhm,
And she said, "We've just received message that your grandfather passed away."
mhm,
And I dropped.
mhm,
And I'm not just 3,000 miles away. I'm on the other side of the world.
mhm,
My boss showed
mhm,
me an act of love.
mhm,
He turned around and he said, Gary, we can do this without you. You're the project manager, but we can do this without you. I have bought you another ticket to go back to Medicine Hat. He bought me a first class ticket to
mhm,
fly back directly to Medicine Hat so I could be there for the funeral and then come
mhm,
back to Paris to continue on with the work.
mhm.
That was love. He
Yes.
didn't have to do that.
Mhm,
Was love from a business person. He
mhm,
showed me compassion.
mhm,
He, I think about it, I cry. I
mhm,
still have emotions. How is it that we can't do this today?
mhm.
It doesn't take a lot to show a little bit of
Yes.
compassion.
Yes.
Doesn't. There's
Mm,
families that are split apart right now. Half of them wear masks, half of them don't. Half of them believe in the
mm.
virus, half of them don't.
Oh,
They're fighting
mhm,
between each other.
mhm,
Some go to visit their parents, and their parents has got the hand sanitizer. Here, put on a mask. You can
mhm,
take the mask off to eat, but afterwards you have to put the mask back on.
mhm,
Why would I want to go visit family if I can't be with family?
mhm. Why why would you visit the family when you can't even see their smile, when you can't read their impressions, uh,
Mm,
uh, and expressions, and and especially their face. When you look at
yeah.
someone and their smile, it shines your heart.
Oh,
Mm,
a smile to me
mm,
is a
mm.
flashlight.
Yes.
It's a beacon. I can
mhm,
see somebody that even if your teeth are not showing, just this little tiny smile that shows to me acknowledgement.
mhm,
It's like a tip of the hat. As a
mhm,
gentleman, a tip of the hat. Open the door, open the car door, walk on the side of the street with your better half.
mhm.
All of this has disappeared. We're so
Yes.
fearful we don't even want to touch a door. I see people
Mm,
that are wearing latex gloves to open up a door because
yeah.
they're afraid to touch the handle. Uh,
Mhm,
uh, I, some of it I can't even. I don't even have an opinion for other than if I don't laugh about it, I'm gonna
mhm.
cry
Yeah.
because it's truly sad to
Mhm.
see humans be as such.
Yeah.
It's sad to see humans telling on another human because they feel that they're doing something that they shouldn't. Well, what are you doing? You're breathing.
Mhm,
If I was sick and my nose was running, am I going to be out shaking hands with everybody? I have common sense. I'm
mhm,
going to take care of myself. I'm going to make sure that my cold is underneath control. I'm going to have a
mhm,
Kleenex in my pocket. I'm going to
mhm,
take some natural medicines because I don't believe in pharmaceuticals.
mhm,
I will use natural vitamin C's. I will use natural fruit, all of the things to boost my immunity. But one
mhm,
of the biggest medicines to
mhm,
boost immunity is
mhm.
love of self. If
Yes.
you do not have love of self, you lower your energy, you
Yes.
lower your resilience, you lower your immunity, you lower your vibration, and guess what? You will get sick. Maybe not
Yes.
by the flu, but you might get
Yes.
sick from something else.
Yeah.
So,
And we have got some comments here.
okay,
I'm gonna put them on screen, or
yes.
you can.
So, I'm afraid of going out around 100 muzzled people.
Mhm,
See, part of the
mhm,
fear is why would I go out to be around with a bunch of people wearing masks? There's
mhm,
an image in this.
mhm,
The image is, am I going to war?
mhm,
Because here are the masked people and I'm not
mhm,
masked. Am I
mhm,
going to be annihilated because I'm not masked? Some of the social media showing the aggressivity that's happening, the people that are fighting with each other, the people that are beating each other up,
mhm.
and then there's businesses that are fighting back against the system, and I lift my hat up to them because you know what, they offer a service that is required.
Yes.
Many of the restaurants are starting to see this. There's a restaurant in Red Deer that is fighting this. They're
Mhm,
fighting to stay open. Today, the post that I saw, somebody not only came in to get food but gave them $1,000.
mhm,
They could have
mhm.
bought how many meals for that?
Yes.
This is an act of love.
Yes.
This is showing compassion for a business that's part of the heart of the economy. It's
Mhm,
not the Amazons, it's not the Walmarts, it's not the superstores. Okay?
mhm,
These small businesses offer a service, a smile, a
mhm,
quality product. They have passion,
mhm,
they are welcoming. Why would I want to go to the Walmarts or the superstores and fight the gauntlet of the security guards with the hand sanitizers and force me to have a mask on? No,
mhm.
you don't deserve my money. I work
Yes.
hard for my money. I'm going to put my money into where I know it's being appreciated,
Yes.
not a superstore.
Yes. And we have to check out some very interesting comments. Uh,
Yes.
okay, I'm gonna put them on screen. Check it out. Uh,
Okay, this
this.
summer I'll be learning to gather as sacred things from the forest to use for healing, like
Mhm.
dandelion roots and stuff that's right here. The car outside doesn't matter as much as the foot we need to nourish. Wow,
Yeah.
that is beautiful. How many
Mm,
places around the world the dandelion is seen as a weed? It's
mm,
not a weed. It has a name.
no.
It's a
Mhm,
dandelion. You can use
mhm,
the root, you can use the flower, you can use the
mhm,
leaves. It is
mhm,
medicine. It can be added in to boost the chlorophyll content that helps to clear the blood. You can use it as a tea, you can use it as a poultice. It supports the bees, it supports the pollinators. So
mhm,
anybody that is embracing nature, is
mhm,
embracing Gaia, is embracing Mother Earth, is
mhm,
embracing the love that Mother Earth has for us as humans.
mhm,
She's given us water, air, land,
mhm,
forests. She's given us medicines, foods.
mhm.
Why would I go to the pharmaceutical to buy a bunch of garbage when I've got the pharmacy right in my backyard?
Yes.
Spruce
Okay.
trees.
I think I have. There's a question here for me from now. Mask
Yep.
is, where are you? Where you are, son? Or I'm from Pakistan, and I spent a lot of time in Dubai, and I met almost all the people of the world. I have been lucky to meet with Japanese, Russians, Australians, Americans, British, and Indians, and I have an Indian ancestry, and now is Pakistan is separated now. And speaking of mask, and earlier in the mid of in the mid of 2020, I think I had COVID-19, and I lost the sense of smell and taste, and that was it. I didn't have any fever. I didn't have any cold or anything. Just loss of smell and taste. That was it. And I think, and it went on for around about 20 days, and it is a month later, my senses of smell and taste, it got better. I started smelling things and started tasting things. I knew 100% that it was COVID, but I didn't go to the hospital to check it out. And on the other hand, my younger brother, he also caught the virus, and my younger sister, but they got better. They're young, younger than me. They're about 10 years younger, so they got better in a 2 or 3 day, 2 or 3 in a week. And as you said earlier, we were talking that many people get flu throughout the year, but we don't make it. Uh, we don't give them the status of pandemic and make the global economy or push the global economy into recession.
Yeah.
And but with pandemic, they are doing it.
Of course they are.
Mm,
I mean, is
mm,
this part of this global economic reset? I mean, we've heard about it. We know that there's potentials of something going on. If we
mhm,
look at what happened in the stock market a couple of days ago, where
mm,
the poor figured out
mhm,
a way to play the same game as the
mhm,
rich.
mhm,
So the Reddit users and maybe another group that maybe belongs to this mask behind me, as an example,
mhm,
infiltrated it, used the system the same way that they did. How many
mhm,
billions of dollars were lost
mhm.
that were rich?
Yes,
Lots.
yes,
Okay, so the economy is being, yes, it's all over the map, and there's
yes,
lots of hearsay about what it's going to be and where it's going to be and how it's going to be better. But at the
mhm,
moment, it's a nightmare. How
yes,
many people will survive this?
yes,
Now it's the lockdown is going even more. We're going into, another lockdown phase. We've got
mhm,
internment camps being set up. Where is, I mean, how close is this being to the world wars and, the Nazism and all of this and,
mhm,
and the
yes,
overabundance of control of people?
mhm,
Kissinger had said it like this: control of foods, we control the people. Control the
yes,
resources, we control the world.
yes,
Is this part of it?
yes.
Maybe. Let's see.
Mhm.
Some more comments here.
We have got a very yes,
Huh. See, many people are becoming more and more awake. Now,
yes,
one of the things that one just mentioned was Sydney says, I'm glad you can smell and taste. A lot of people were
Mhm.
sick here too last year around Christmas time, but it was just a
Mhm.
bad cold. So we've,
Mhm.
every year, I'm almost 60 years old. Every year, as
Yep.
far as I remember, around
Mhm.
this time of the year, Christmas and the cold season, well, the colds came
Mhm.
through, the flus came through,
Mhm.
sometimes some other things came through as well. I mean, we're meant as humans to
Mhm.
face the elements. In
Mhm.
order to evolve into a stronger species, we're meant
Yes.
to face the elements.
Mhm.
The law of nature, which is really the only true law, is that
Mhm.
the one of the laws is that it's the survival of the fittest. Well,
Yes.
nature takes care of life. The
Yes.
stronger of the species, human or not, will survive. It's
Yes.
part of the evolutionary chain as we evolve. It's
Yes.
not about, well, guess what? I'm going to go to the fifth dimension because I've raised my spiritual awareness. You
Mhm.
got to stay grounded to where your source is. Earth, Gaia, is a mother.
Mhm.
My belief. She
Mhm.
mothers the plant world, she
Mhm.
mothers the animal world, the Ave world, all of it, and mothers us because she's given us air and water.
Mhm.
Air we need to breathe,
Mhm.
water is life. But if we
Yes.
keep poisoning the
Mhm.
waterways, if we keep poisoning the air, how long before there's no air left? How long
Yes.
before the water is gone? When we
Mhm.
look at big corporations making moves to put a public IPO forward to put water on the stock exchange,
Mhm.
who gave us the right to sell what doesn't belong to us?
Yes.
Bottled water. And then if we test bottled water, it's nowhere true to what it's supposed to be. The
Yes.
the plastics being used, the chemicals leaching into it, the everything, and then the water tables that are being decimated in Pakistan and India and third world countries because the corporations are going in there taking all the water to make Coca-Cola, make PepsiCo, make pops filled with sugars. White sugars are addictive.
Mhm.
We knew from the very start white
Mhm.
processed sugar was a poison. It's
Mhm.
shown. It's been proven,
Mhm.
but we're still allowing it to be made. We're still
Yes.
allowing it to be sold. Why? Because the
Yes.
government has a taxation system, makes money off
Mhm.
of everything that's being sold.
Yes.
People get sick, pharmaceutical makes money, people invest in the pharmaceutical companies, they make money, people are still getting sick.
Yes. And
Naturally.
we have got some
Yeah.
comments here.
Okay. Um, Banking change. One more week there, almost a year. Um, Sophie, who's in Dubai,
Mhm.
good to see you this evening, Sophie.
Mhm.
Rosie, sorry. She's feeling safe, loving life.
Mhm.
All I can do is offer blessings and that she stays safe, of course.
Yes.
Um, Absolutely insane, loving Rosie. So Allah is our great protector on the whole globe. Please stay safe and awake. See what's
Yes.
happening, Ahsan? People
Mhm.
are connecting around the world. We're
Mhm.
using technology to reach
Mhm.
out and
Mhm.
share love,
Mhm.
share compassion,
Mhm.
share knowledge.
Mhm.
They see what's going on in the streets.
Mhm.
They share, and we're trying to share this information. How many
Mhm.
people, and I've said it over the last couple of lives, how many people knew that Croatia had a major earthquake? How many people knew that Croatia's peoples came together,
Mhm.
gave tents, vans, RVs to people that had lost their homes in the earthquake? And now
Mhm.
Croatia, the first country that announced that as of February 1st, all of the businesses are coming together, all of the businesses are opening their door, and they're basically saying to the government because
Yeah.
they believe in community. They believe in support of each other. And I admire a small country like this that is
Mhm.
showing the rest of the world how it can be done.
Yes.
We in North America, we're still stuck on our high horse, believing that, money is everything, the government is everything, that this is good and that's good. But here's a small country that came together with
Mhm,
love. We want to
mhm,
know what love is? Look at
mhm,
Croatia. Look at what the peoples are doing. That's unconditional love.
mhm.
This
And
act
I
of,
think, uh, and this is, I think, we need the unconditional love and
yeah,
love for the sake of love and love yourself so you would be able to love others.
yes, yes.
Mhm.
And love heals. And
Yes.
I'll give you one of the most beautiful, beautiful examples of that this week that happened.
Mhm,
A follower of mine by the name of Miss Kim Fetz.
mhm,
She had a bad news. She's been fighting a health problem. She's
mhm,
a single mother. She's working 10 to 14 hours a day to try and survive in a broken system. The medical
mhm,
system hasn't been helping her. In fact, the medical system is part of the problem that she has. She
mhm,
had a test that was done because severe pains, and they suspected that a possibility, high potential of cancer was detected.
mhm,
I put together a wish, a
mhm,
blessing. I used the sacred altar as a blessing. I lit a rose candle. I had a shaman bless
mhm,
this rose candle. And I asked for people to simply say a word of blessing.
mhm,
I saw it made me cry. It
mhm,
still makes me cry to see
mhm,
people come together and offer a wish of healing to
mhm,
somebody they don't know. This
mhm,
woman, the following day, yesterday, received some good news. She's
mhm,
out of danger from cancer. What is the possibility that
mhm,
we, as the peoples that came together, that offered a blessing of love, of unconditional love, helped
mhm,
her possibly heal? I
mhm,
believe it did because
mhm,
I believe in the power of heart. I
mhm,
believe in the power of love. I know it heals. Gaia shows me this. I've seen the examples a million times over. I've
mhm,
seen dying children in the sick children's hospital that by an act of love, that people interacting, that the child has overcome something that would have killed them. In some cases, the child passed, but they passed with love because people truly cared, showed compassion, showed unconditional love. Love is not, I need you to love me in return. Love, I
mhm,
give freely. I love you
mhm.
for who you are, the soul
Yeah,
that you have.
we have got a very good comment here.
Yes.
Go inside your heart and find love. In here, we manifest our thoughts. Right now, we must stay positive in spite of what's happening outside. Indeed.
Ah, moon, moon, namaste.
Mm,
These are examples, Ahsan, of people
mm,
coming together and spreading the word of love. They're
yes.
not spreading what Trump is doing. They're not
Mm,
spreading what the politics is doing. They're
yes.
offering words, beautiful phrases, pieces of music to help people heal. The
Mm-hmm,
lives that I do nightly at every night brings people together. I
mm-hmm,
play calming music. I talk
mm-hmm,
about love. I talk about rawness. I talk about realness. I
mm-hmm,
share love and compassion for humanity. Do I
mm-hmm,
share trust?
mm-hmm.
I have a hard time with trust right now
Yes.
because I don't know
Trusting
who
is
to
something
trust
else.
going out the door.
Yes. Trust is something else. But we need love.
We need
Unconditional.
love.
Yes.
If
And
somebody asks me, how can I love myself?
mhm,
Look in the mirror.
mhm,
Look at yourself.
yes.
Look at yourself in the eyes. Don't see your imperfections.
Mhm,
See what you have achieved at life where you are in the here and now at this very moment. What did you learn from your yesterdays? What
mhm,
memories do you have that show that you've done something in life that has left a beautiful footprint for somebody to follow? Have
mhm,
you given kindness? Did you help somebody walk up the stairs? Did you open a door for somebody? A
mhm,
small gesture.
mhm,
Small gesture, but it's
mhm,
an act of love that is unconditional. I open
mhm,
the door freely. Is it an
mhm,
act of love? In a
mhm.
way, yes, but it's an act of compassion
Yeah.
because rather than you open the door, I open the door for you. It's
Mhm,
kindness. Kindness is compassion. If
mhm,
you can show kindness, you can have compassion and you can
mhm,
understand a little bit more about love. Love
mhm.
of
And,
self
yes,
is,
and it is also love that someone is sad and talking to you, someone is feeling down. You just
yeah,
you just come lean closer to him and kiss on his or her
yeah,
forehead and look in his eyes or her eyes and say everything is going to be fine. Then
yes.
smile. Yes, I think it's a beautiful gesture of love, and that's what we need.
That's what the world needs, Hassan.
Yes,
You
yes,
and I, we know this. We understand this. This is
yes.
how we've connected. We've connected because we believed in the power of love. You're an economist. I'm a aromacologist.
Hmm.
We're very similar in many ways.
Yes.
Okay, you help people to have security. I
Hmm.
help people to have security of self, of
Hmm.
heart, of love, of understanding. A
Hmm.
beautiful woman that joined me live last night a couple of weeks back, I created what I call a soul print. And somebody says,
Hmm.
well, what is a soul print? And I say, have you ever smelt your soul?
Hmm.
And people go, what do you mean? Have you smelt my soul? Gaia, we have, as much as we have spirits of animals, we also
Hmm.
have spirits of plants, trees, flowers, spices.
Hmm.
So by discussing with a person in confidentiality, in understanding their story, their emotions, the
Hmm.
soul begins to speak. The
Hmm.
essences that are brought to them begins to show emotion.
Hmm.
Gaia speaks through me. I
Hmm.
blend these essences, and that becomes your smell of your soul. It becomes your medicine. It becomes your uplifting when you're down. When you need
Hmm.
energy, you open up this little amulet, you smell it, and you go, okay, I'm in the here and now. I can breathe.
Hmm.
you you show people how to feel secure in the sense that they can survive with the money they make, to invest wisely, to have a home, to
Hmm.
have food, to pay their children's schooling, or
Hmm.
whatever the necessities are. You know,
Yes.
it's all based upon your own personal perspective of what your necessities are.
Hmm.
My necessity is simple. I have food, roof, and I have freedom. These are my
Hmm.
necessities. Other than
Hmm.
that, the rest is just extra.
Hmm.
Another
And
comment. Okay.
we have it's a very good one.
So Moon says, when we take care of our body and soul and feed them as a temple, we raise our vibes to our divine version of thyself. In this
Hmm.
state, no evil, no harm can reach us. Evil and
Hmm.
harm can only reach lower vibes. That is why it is essential to stay super positive. Moon, beautiful. You
Yes.
can't say it any better than that.
Yes.
Positive optimism raises your vibrancy. When you
Yes.
raise your love vibrancy, you raise your immunity, you
Hmm.
raise your strength. You're
Hmm.
stronger, you're more resilient, but you're
Hmm.
also more open because love of self means that I love myself in who I am, not in
Hmm.
who you see that I am. Now
Yes.
I will show you freedom because I will
Hmm.
love you freely. This
Hmm.
is unconditional love. There is levels of love that come into play. I
Yes.
can love my work. I can
Hmm.
love my friends. I can
Hmm.
love my wife. I can
Hmm.
love my higher power. And I can
Hmm.
love self. But the primary is to love self. Because if
Yes.
I cannot love self, how can I love the others? How
Yes.
can I show love to God? How can I show love to my profession? How can I show love to children, my intimacy, my friendships, if I cannot have love of self?
Oh, yes. It's a very good one. That you have to, first of all, you have to love yourself, and
Of course.
it yes, and it would give you the energy, the vibes. It creates the vibes of your love. It would
Very much so.
yeah, it would connect with the vibes of nature, and that's how you connect with other people. If I'm
Very much
making.
so.
Hmm.
In all of my professional careers and everything that I've done, I've
Hmm.
always applied passion.
Hmm.
Passion in part is also love, love of by showing passion.
Hmm.
Passion is, it's just wonderful. You know, it makes you feel good.
Yes.
Okay. So even working in the networking industry, I had
Hmm.
passion. And the result of that was how the clients, the businesses that I worked with appreciated me.
Hmm.
Many what I would come to do jobs and they would have a coffee ready for me. They would see that I'm working hours. They would bring me something to eat. They would
Hmm.
invite me into their homes to do things there. Because why? I showed truth. I stayed
Hmm.
true to self. I was transparent. I did my job to the best of my capacities. And I had
Hmm.
passion towards what I was doing. I
Yes.
believed in the interaction between peoples, customer
Hmm.
service, customer care. The
Yes.
customer is not always right, but I
Yes.
believe that by helping them and making sure that they can do their job rightly, they smile, I smile.
Hmm. Yes.
It's a
And
beautiful world.
yes, and it's a very good comment. Everything starts with love in our heart.
Very much well said, Moon.
Yes.
Moon, I've seen a lot of what she posts and what she's involved with in the different groups. And she's
Hmm.
always pushing this aspect of love, this
Yes.
connection, bringing
Hmm.
people together by pieces of music or truths.
Hmm.
Sometimes truth hurts. Sure, it
Yes.
does. If we
Hmm.
talk about child slavery and the child sex industry, it's not something that's nice, but it's a
Hmm.
truth.
Yes.
But
We have to
what are we
accept the
told
truth.
about this?
Yes.
Nobody tells us about this. They keep it hidden from us.
Hmm.
Uh, you know, and there's lots more we can go into, but I don't want to turn it into let's go down all the rabbit holes. Let's stay with this aspect of where love is in today's world. It's
Hmm.
a lost philosophy in one way, but in many ways, it's a new awakening.
Yes.
People are awakening to the truth of what maybe love is. It
Hmm.
is not about what I have, it's about who I can help.
Yes.
How
What you
who
have.
can
Yes.
help me grow spiritually that
Hmm.
can show me something that I don't know.
Hmm.
Just like
Hmm.
you are so ah, thank you, Moon. She says,
Hmm.
just like you, soul brother, Gary
Yes.
Murk, we are one. And
Yes.
this is
Yes.
truth.
Hmm.
As humans, we are
Hmm.
one.
Yes.
You and I are the same. We have a different
Yes.
cocoon. We live in a
Hmm.
different part of the world, but we believe in the same. We believe
Hmm.
in love. We believe in communication. We believe in connection. We believe in sharing.
Hmm.
I am so ecstatic, connecting with you. You're on the other side of the world. From the
Yes.
parts of the world that you being, from
Hmm.
Pakistan, I have beautiful essences that come from that part of the world. I
Hmm.
respect Gaia.
Hmm.
You have seen these essences growing before you.
Yes.
I only see the essence that has been delivered to me by a passionate farmer, by a
Hmm.
passionate small business owner. But how are they being infected?
Hmm.
Because now they can't ship their goods because of the quarantines, because of the restrictions. And then it gets shipped and we don't see it for 6 weeks or 6 months. How are
Hmm.
we supposed to survive as a business? I'm not Amazon.
Yes.
It doesn't make sense to me.
Yes.
But what
And
makes sense to me today is that we have come together,
hmm.
others are coming together, and we're
Hmm.
spreading what is love by showing the truth,
mhm,
showing that I can be a kind human being, that I have
mhm.
emotions, that I have vulnerabilities, that I have
Yes.
sensitivity, that my
Mhm,
eyes are wide open. I can
mhm.
see that somebody is in need. And if I
Yes.
can help, I will. And even if I can't help, I'm going to try.
Yes.
We can all do this.
We should all do this. And I think we have covered enough. We have covered many aspects and many
Yes.
impacts of COVID-19 and pandemic on the small businesses in our lives, how it is impacting the human relationships and ourself as a human being and our inner self, that what is happening around us is impacting our peace of mind, our spirituality, and we cannot remain calm when the chaos is going on around us.
Yeah.
And if you have any questions, uh, please leave it in the comment box below, or your comments, or you're
Yes.
always welcome to say anything.
Yes.
And Gary will answer it to you as soon as he can, and or I will answer it to you. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a wonderful evening or good
Yes.
day.
Everybody, thank you. Namaste. We'll see you
Uh-huh,
again next Saturday, same time,
uh-huh.
for
Yes,
more love.
yeah, yeah, for more love.